My friends, we are going to grow and get better together. This is not about me. This is about us. Welcome to Win Today with Johnny Martin. Welcome back, friends. Welcome back to part 2 of my 2-part conversation on Win Today with my boy, Chris Ferrara, former Syracuse Orangemen defensive lineman, 1999 through 2004. Over the last roughly 15 years or so, has really devoted his life to helping other people at every level, elementary school, middle school, high school, college, professional, at maximizing their talents, strengths, and gifts as it relates to athletics and strength and conditioning. Chris, welcome back, man. So happy to have you.
Thank you.
So in the first episode, we talked a lot about your journey, kind of what brought you to where you're at now. Obviously, your passion for what you do, the love that you have for what you're able to do and inspiring other people through strength and conditioning is phenomenal. But now I want to get into the stuff that I think, just based on knowing you for as long as I have, the stuff that you and I talk about a lot off air, and the stuff that we think in our roles as educators, coaches, people that are looking to change the lives of other people, we have a responsibility to start calling people on so that we all can grow and get better together. What's missing in athletes today, man? Obviously, when I ask these questions too, guys, of Chris, we're not painting everybody with the same brush, but we see enough themes in our work and in our work with athletes and families and students and professional people all the time to be able to pull some things that we know are pretty thematic, that we see pretty regularly. So in your work, what's missing? What do you think is missing?
What's missing is not something technically that's missing. It's something that's already there, and that's social media. It's destroyed the work ethic of our young athletes because they're trying to compare to every other athlete they've seen on social media. Oh, the 5-star down in Alabama, the 4-star out in Cali. Stars mean nothing, because eventually you got to go across that white line. You got to strap it up, and it's man versus man. And if the thing inside your chest beats the right way, you'll never allow another man to beat you on that field.
Yeah. So
I feel they get so consumed in other things, where the generation I've come from, I'll give you a short story. I wanted a gym membership when I was 16. Middle-class family, and my dad, no. I said, Dad.
Yeah, you can work out in the garage, go do some push-ups, whatever. Yeah.
I said, Dad, I have a dream, and you know what it is, and I need a gym membership to get to that dream. He goes, okay. There was a gym, Powerhouse Gym, 1.5 miles away from my house. Old school steel. It was a dungeon. And he said, there's one rule, Chris. You get picked up or you get dropped off. I don't care if it's 110. I don't care if it's -10. Picked up or dropped off. And for the 3 years that I didn't have a license, he never wavered for that rule.
Wow.
And that, I believe, is where that dedication started in my head. And I share that piece with the athletes now, because I tell them, like, you guys are making excuses that you don't have rides. If you really want to be a Division I athlete, or you say in your head, I want to play in the NFL, you'll walk until you find the weight room.
The place to train.
Find the field. Find the coaches. Nothing will ever get in your way. And I feel
not when you want it more than anything else.
You'll die for it.
Yeah.
And that might sound crazy to some people, but there's a reason why I don't coach, is because when I still go on that white line, the heart beats a different way.
Yeah, you know enough now. I've noticed in you enough now to like step away when they're coaching.
I won't even go to games, John.
Yeah.
I told these kids at Central, I've been here 4 years. I said, you want me to go to a game? I'll see you at Gillette when you're playing for the state championship. That's when I know my job is close to complete.
Yeah.
We haven't been to Gillette yet, so I haven't been to a game yet. I see scores on Mass Live and whatnot, and they beg me. I don't. Oh, coaches, our senior day. I don't care. It's not Gillette, and I hold them to that. And not once, 4 years have I been to Gillette. Now, on the opposite side of that, girls basketball, same rule. Coach, you train us. I've been to 3 games in 3 years.
Yeah, all state championship
games. And there's a reason for that. If I'm going to hold the boys accountable, I'm going to hold the girls to the same accountability. And it's worked. And to get back to what you said, what are these athletes missing? It's just that scary drive. Like, I still have it. Like, I still can get it. I can still pull it out of myself if I really have
Well,
to.
it doesn't go away.
It doesn't go away. And that's, I'm 37 years old, and I still train like when I was 17.
Yes, you do.
Probably not the smartest things, but chances are I'm going to drop dead in a gym or a weight room or a field, and I'll be happy with that.
I hope not. Well, not anytime soon anyways.
But that's where I'd want to be.
Yeah.
Because I love it that much.
Yeah.
And I think the athletes in this area and the parents, most importantly in this area, are starting to see that with XL Sports, like you said. Kid has to get to it one day. We're group texting amongst XL. Hey, how can we get this kid there? Who's free? Who's there?
Sure.
And we make it happen.
Support one another.
You know, we're sitting here on break, and I get 3 text messages. I got 3 kids at one days. They're texting me 40 times.
Beautiful.
Like, and it gets me chills because now I know they care.
Yeah.
And they're not because I don't want to repeat what was said at the end of those text messages.
No, I got you.
But they know what it's going to take.
Yeah.
And they know what I'm going to say to them when I respond.
Because they're finally in a place where they're not, and this is where I think the significant people in the world, really successful people in the world, this is where I think people start to separate themselves. When you stop comparing your work for the day or your success for the day against the person next to you in the gym, and you start comparing your success and work for the day against a person somewhere that you've never met before, that you've never seen before, that you may never cross paths with, and you ask yourself, what's that person that is running this strength conditioning program or this business or this marketing firm or this audiovisual company? What are they doing? The ones that are at the very top of their game. I want to know if my effort, if my sacrifice, if my commitment is close to theirs. Not the dude in the weight room next to me that I've been out lifting for the last 15 years of my life, because then you're selling yourself short. What I think is starting to happen with these kids, and this is the greatest gift of all, I think, is they're starting to believe. And it's not unrealistic anymore. They're starting to believe very realistically. And I'll tell you what, man, you've seen this. When you have that unrelenting belief in yourself, when you bet on you every day of the week, and you pair that up with hope and some real good training, man, the sky's the limit. And that's why these kids are reach out to you 100 times a day, because they're like, holy shit, this isn't just a dream anymore after I watch a college game on a Saturday or an NFL game on a Sunday. This is life stuff. This is real. I could go to a school that costs $70,000 a year, and I could go for nothing because I've done it right in the classroom. I've done it right in the weight room. And I'm a kid who could come from almost nothing. One of the poorest cities in the Northeast, one of the highest crime rates in the Northeast, and I got a chance to go to a school to get a piece of paper that could change my life forever because of the work I'm doing right now. And that's pretty amazing stuff.
And there's one saying we got, what I tell these kids, I'm going to one day and there's going to be this kid there. I simply say, guys, hard work beats talent any day of the week.
Absolutely.
I've seen it for 37 years. I've seen some of the
Aren't
best
you also the dude that tells all these guys, tell our listeners what you mean by this, because I've heard you tell these guys this all the time. Steal everybody's reps. Steal reps.
Listen.
And talk to me about how that translates to life. Steal everybody's reps.
When you're at these camps and there's a kid that you know you're better than them, but you see these coaches on them like flies on shit, and it's bothering you and it's ticking you the wrong way. The next time that kid gets up, get in front of him. Take his rep.
Like deliberately walk right in front of him.
Deliberately walk in front of him, look at him, take his rep. Finish the rep you just dominated, and walk right up back to the line you just were on. And don't let anyone on the field until a coach tells you to get off the field. And even sometimes at that point, stay there. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. That's what coaches at the highest level are looking for. I'm willing to compete
with anybody.
I can't compete anymore, no matter who's in front of me.
No matter the route you ask me to run, no matter,
nobody. I'll get in front of anybody. Better line, I'll get in front of any position. Just tell me what I got to do. And I tell these kids every time they leave. I had a kid go to Michigan on Monday. Steal reps. You already have the chip stacked against you.
That's right.
Steal them.
You shouldn't be here to begin with.
Yep, you should. Everyone told you you're not good enough.
And they're not going to pay attention to you unless you make them pay attention.
Exactly. And if you're taking the 5-star reps and you're disrespecting.
Because those guys pick and choose, right?
They pick and choose because they're going to pick and choose who they're going to make look foolish.
Yeah. They want to beat a corner. Or they want
Come out here and make me look foolish. Come here. Come on.
Or at least I'm willing to take my chances.
And once they say you do one rep, they won't pick you. But if you never come off that field, eventually they got to look you in the eye.
Yeah, they got to line up against you.
And you know who wins that
Yeah, it's
battle.
pretty awesome. The reason I brought that up is because I hear you all the time when we're, at combines or when you're talking to kids after a training session. And I've heard you say so many times, just steal reps, steal everybody's reps. And when I left, I remember talking to my brother one day. I'm like, man, that whole steal reps philosophy is that's not just a football thing. Like, okay, what can I do to put myself in a better position in terms of the things that I'm trying to accomplish in my life? Like, okay, who am I afraid to reach out to that I've never reached out? Well, be brave. Reach out. Like, steal reps.
And the worst answer you're going to get
No.
is no. And that's not a bad answer.
No, and you got to get prepared for that in life.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you don't do it now, the first time you hear no,
You're not going to, you won't do well with it.
you're not going to pick yourself up off the ground.
Yeah. What advice do you give to athletes right now? We're talking a lot about development as an athlete. What's like if you could pick one or two, like you're talking to a new athlete at any level. I know the last few years you've picked up some pros in the off season. So the advice you give them may be a little different than the advice you give the high school kid or the working professional dad who comes to see and says, listen, I know you primarily train athletes, but I'm just trying to get my life back. And I want to try to do it using fitness as the foundation for trying to build this life back. What advice are you giving them outside of steal those reps that they can really start to set themselves apart, either from a training perspective or sort of a mental toughness perspective?
Well, most importantly, you got to believe in yourself. And like I get a guy, a father walking in, and oh, this is going on at home, that's going on at home. I don't care. We'll talk about it when we're done, and I'll help you there. But when you're in here for this hour and a half,
Get lost in it.
get lost in this. And you're 15 minutes in, and you see him get lost, and then that drives me harder because I'm like, okay, he's gone. He's fully into this. Now I'm in it. And then you mix two of that together and you have a special result.
Yeah.
And these athletes, the same thing. I don't care where we're from. Like, yeah, Western Mass doesn't get respect. It doesn't. And it's not the kid's fault. Because also at the same time, there might be some people in the wrong position that are holding our kids back.
Sure.
And until they remove themselves from those positions and let us get nationally recognized, our kids can only do so much.
Yeah.
But that's where XL came in, and that's where, as a team, we said that's not going to happen anymore. No one's going to get in our athletes' way of going here, going there. So now all of a sudden, we have all these. Where let's use a Westfield, and I have 15 Westfield
they're awesome.
athletes.
Yeah, they're so supportive. Yeah.
Where maybe 4 years ago they wouldn't come into the city.
No.
And for good reasons. Now, got 15 Westfield kids in a central weight room with 15 central kids, and nothing's separating them.
No.
And
Because they're all chasing the same thing.
They're all
man.
chasing the same thing, and doesn't matter what T-shirt they have on,
What color their skin is.
what color their skin is, because here what I do is I'll never let Central train with Central. Two Westfield kids, one Central kid. Two Central kids, one Westfield kid.
Yeah.
So now you're building a bond where now when we go to 7-on-7s, we go here, now you have teams that you know of. You have kids that you feel comfortable with. Now we compete.
Because, you learn to compete,
and
man.
I was on Father's Day. I stopped by the Hall of Fame 7-on-7 at Central, and Central we have a great team. We have great athletes, great staff.
Yeah.
But I sat
Good
there and
group of guys,
I
man.
said to your brother, I said, man, it's starting to catch up. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, these other city schools, these other suburb schools, they're starting to catch up to us. And now it's going to get good. Because now instead of a college saying, oh, we could only come down there on September 9th when you play Bishop Sullivan, who is the #1 ranked middle linebacker, and they spank you by 55. Now I can come down on a Friday night and watch you play Westside, watch you play Westfield, because I'm recruiting a kid from that team.
That's right.
So I can kill two birds with one stone.
I'm looking at more than one kid.
And now Western Mass becomes respected.
Yeah.
And when you get respected, you get feared. So now Eastern Mass teams, when we go play in the playoffs, it's a dogfight.
Yeah.
And I know when my kids go out on that field, they know one thing. If you don't give everything you have,
they're not going to quit.
Don't come back to the weight room.
Yeah.
Because I watch every game on Monday mornings. I watch them all. If you're one of my guys, and when I mean one of my guys is you're 10 minutes early to every workout.
Dude.
You follow the rules. And I ask a lot.
You bought into the blueprint.
Yeah. And you're the one making it, and I watch you on a Friday night not play to your ability, but play to someone else's ability. They know when they see me Monday morning at 6 a.m., we're having them words. And it's not words of,
No.
I'm not coming at you, but you're going to walk over to the platform when you're done hearing it from me, and I ruined your day. But by ruining that day, you're going to be a superstar
tomorrow.
on Friday.
Better tomorrow.
And I think that's the most important thing is just continue to build a culture up here, continue to not only build our athletes, but now I'm starting to just get non-athletes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you are.
And I love it because it's like they just want to be healthy. And all of a sudden, these non-athletes are working with the athletes, and I got some non-athletes that are stronger than the athletes.
But to me, though, bro, I don't think it's just about. And maybe I exaggerated a little bit, but to me, the weight room or strength and conditioning or what you're doing with these people, to me, it's not just about getting healthy. Like you could take anything
it's a lifestyle.
Yeah, but you could take anything that you're passionate about, right? And all of our experiences in life are different. Okay, I was an athlete, but not at your level, so my experience was different. There's other people that may not have been athletes at all, but they have this insatiable drive and passion for whatever it is. To me, it's about so much more than just what happens in between those four walls with the racks and the weights and it's using that as a foundation for everything else that we're hoping these folks do later on in life. When you think about your rules, you better be 10 minutes early. Your grades better be good. You better not be in trouble in school. If you take those three things, and any person that's listening, and you attach those to how you're living your life every day, if you just try to take those three things tomorrow morning, be 10 minutes early for my first appointment. Instead of get good grades, do my very best for my employer. Or if you are the boss, very best for your company or product. Represent the name well. These things transfer to any aspect of our life.
And it's a lifestyle. Like, and it's literally everything.
For you, I know it is, but my point is that's the gift that you're giving to these other kids, man.
And they won't get it until they go into the real world.
And that's the payoff for us in the line of work that we do is we don't see it very often until much, much later on.
And funny thing, you remember Daquan?
Very well.
I saw Daquan 2 weeks ago. He came to Central, suited up from his accounting job.
I know, he looked great, man.
And he literally goes, "Coach, thank you." And I turned to him and I said, "D, I love you, man, but what are you thanking me for? Because we didn't finish it. We didn't have an opportunity to finish it, but we didn't finish it."
Yeah. Just so you guys know that sort of this inside baseball talk we got going on here, Daquan was a young man that Christian trained. He was an All-American Division II college player. And just by virtue of the fact that he came from a small school in the Northeast as a Division II player, he got signed as a unrestricted free agent with the Green Bay Packers, had an unbelievable preseason. But just a brilliant and beautiful guy outside of football as well. He trained with Christian every day, sometimes twice a day for months leading up to his tryout, and he ended up being the very, very last cut of the Green Bay Packers in their preseason. And he still comes around now to see Christian. But that's just one of sort of many stories. Would you say for you that your biggest goal outside of the training is what you pass along to these folks?
Well,
is that the biggest piece?
Daquan said when I said, what for what, man? He goes, because I took what you taught me in 5 months And now I've applied that to my job.
He's killing it.
And he's going to be, the kid's going to, you know.
Yeah, he's making more money than we are, and he's,
exactly.
and he's 8 months out of school.
Old, exactly.
Yeah.
And I sat back after that.
Him.
I sat back after that, and I said, you know what it is? It's bigger than what I'm doing right now. It's not the first time I've said that, but it just reiterates it. And it's amazing when kids come back, and, you know, you could pay me $1 million a year.
Someday.
Money doesn't buy happiness, number one. And a handshake and a thank you from someone that was 4 years ago, 5 years ago, that reached their potential, or that didn't reach their potential, but then reached their potential
later
after
on.
it.
Which is when it happens a lot of times in the line of work we're in, man.
Exactly. And, hey, coach, thank you for everything. There's no sticker on that.
No, it's
and
an awesome
there'll never
gift.
be a price sticker on that. And I think that's where I get the most joy out of it now. And also, I get to bring my 5-year-old around it now. And she gets to see not only what Daddy does, but how the kids respect Daddy and how the kids look up to Daddy. And it's good for her.
And how much you love those kids.
And love those kids. And she sees it. And, you know, people, you know, wherever I've been, whatever company I've worked for, they always know, okay, well, if, you know, his daughter's going to be with her. Because I want her to see a culture, a positive success. And she's only 5. But I know if we start now, your son, your daughter, where they are at today, if you didn't do what you did with them younger on, it might not have been this way.
Sure.
And I think that's what we have to do to kids that don't have the same, maybe mom and dad at
support
home.
That we have.
Support system. But now we're there. Excel's their support system.
Yeah.
And
how excited do you get being part of the ground floor building something that you know could be pretty special?
It's not. I don't know. I can't say I don't know it's going to be special. It already is special.
Yeah.
Because in such a short period of time, we've built this brand that is going to be untouchable. It's going to be untouchable in a few years because the people we have there, and now not only is the Central family bought in, but now the 6 other surrounding towns have bought in, and it's only going to grow.
Sure.
You know, like you said earlier.
Because the product speaks for itself.
And you never put a bad product on the field.
That's right.
You can't overproduce it because then it becomes bad.
Yeah.
So we're slowly but surely, and I really think in a year, 2-3 years, we're gonna be the it.
Yeah.
Not only in Western Mass, but it's gonna grow to Massachusetts, and then it's gonna grow from there.
Yeah, I believe that. I also think, you know, and, you know, you and I, you know, bust chops all the time, and we have so much fun with Stevie. For those of you that have listened before, you guys know that I have an older brother who, you know, his journey is one that's amazing in and of itself, but he's one of the guys that sort of is spearheading this whole Excel Sports Academy operation, but it's so much more than sports for him. He's found his calling in life and serving other people, and it's just the atmosphere that we've created is just a lot of fun to be around, man. It's a lot of fun. It really is.
Listen, you were told me I was doing this, going to be doing this 20 years ago.
I know.
I'd have said you're lying to me, number one. But it's going to be a blast. It's a blast.
Before we wrap, I ask this of every guest I have because I love the answers that I get from people literally from all over the country, man. We've talked to, we've talked to Navy SEALs. We've talked to entrepreneurs. We've talked to professional athletes, people from all walks of life. And I love the differences in answers to these questions. But for Christian Ferrara, not just as a strength and conditioning coach, an educator, but Christian Ferrara, the man, what's at least one non-negotiable for you in your life?
Don't lie to me.
Tell the truth.
Whatever it is. And I've had this issue recently a lot with a few kids, and I told them, I tell you in the beginning, don't ever lie to me.
Whatever it is, I'll help you through it. Just to tell the truth.
I don't care if it's the worst thing in the world. I'll believe you to the end. Just don't lie to me. And has it blown up in my face before? Not blown up in my face, but blown up in other people's faces?
Sure.
Yes. But that's a non-negotiable. Don't ever lie.
Love it. So as we wrap here, I can't thank you enough for taking the time with us, man. It was awesome. I knew your energy would be off the charts, and to talk to somebody who's as passionate about what they do as you are is always great. Not just for me, because I can get a dose of it anytime I want from you, but for our guests. I think the takeaway for me, those of you that are listening, guys, is whatever it is for you, whatever gets you up in the morning, gets the blood pumping, attack that. Attack that with every single thing that you have. Exercise discipline, hard work. Don't ever make excuses for yourself or other people. And for God's sakes, don't lie. Hope y'all enjoyed this 2-part episode with my good friend, Christian Ferrara. Appreciate it, man. Very, very much. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, it was a lot of fun. We'll have to do it again for sure. As always, folks, be good to those you love. Let them know you love them. Have a great day. Thank you to Seven Roads Media and Cloud9 Marketing Group for co-producing the show. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe on whatever platform you're on. Without you, I cannot continue to do what I love. You can follow me personally on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at RealJohnCMartin. I'd love to hear from you, so please reach out with comments and questions after each episode. Your comments push me to get better every day. As always, thank you for your continued support, and don't forget, win today.